So we're well into the new year and new decade of 2020. This time of year is filled with lots of well wishes and hopes and dreams for the future. What is an unfortunate truth though is by the time you're watching this, you've probably already given up on what it was you were trying to do at the beginning of the year. In fact, I would ask you, do you even remember what your New Year's resolution was? How long did it take you to give up on that resolution? Let us know in the comments down below. But more than likely, whatever your goals were for this year, you probably took a large bite of the apple and fell short, as we all do, without accomplishing your goal. The key to really changing yourself and the trajectory of your life is to come up with daily habits and daily routines that contribute to your ultimate long-term goals. In this video, we're going to go over 4 of them and how they've helped me and how they can and will help you accomplish your wildest dreams. What's up, you guys? I'm Derek West, the host of BTB Fusion, where it's our mission to inspire you to achieve your financial and business dreams through the power of technology. Help us in that mission by liking this video and subscribing to our channel so that we can reach more and more people in our pursuit of our goals. Speaking of goals, a lot of people really miss the forest for the trees when they talk about daily habits. A positive daily habit, like exercising and eating every day, is fine if it's just something that you do every day. But it becomes powerful and life-changing when you combine it with a short-term, near-term, and long-term set of goals. That's what the first thing we're going to talk about in this video is to set goals, even though that's something that you should take time to come up with, and that's not necessarily something you do every day. But when you do that, the new daily habits that you form should ideally be about supporting those short, near-term, and long-term visions for how you see yourself and how you feel you fit into this world. Short-term goals. Your short-term goals should really be just that. Goals that you want to hit in the short term. The question becomes, what is the term? Also, what are the conditions? A good term is a term that you have a good mental grasp on. Think about time spans like a day, to a month, to a quarter, possibly a year. These are goals that you can see in sight and that you can act on each and every day to really compound into near-term goals. A good short-term goal would be, for example, to study for a test you know you have in a week or a month or so, or finish a term paper, or pass a class that you're taking, or if you're in the working world, complete an assignment or a quarterly project, or meet your yearly goal. Those goals take stock on what you did last time you tried to do that very same thing, and this time you're going to try and beat that mark. Relentless improvement on a previous mark is key to really being a high-performing individual. That isn't to say that you'll always improve. In fact, sometimes you're going to take a step backwards. That doesn't mean, though, you should take your eye off the prize, and that prize is hitting your mark for your short-term goals. Near-term goals are goals that really make sense in the scale of, let's say, 6 months to a year, 2 years, maybe even 5 years. And before we get into this even deeper, let's just take a little bit of sidebar here. There really is no hard and fast rule on how to divvy up your short-term, near-term, and long-term goals. It really is about the time scale that makes sense to you and how you can structure your life and accomplishments around hitting your objectives. So if any of the durations of the terms that I mentioned seem too short to you, or maybe too long, or just out of whack entirely, just adjust them to what makes sense to you and your objectives. That said, though, a good near-term goal would be to, let's say, lose 20 pounds from a diet, or train to run 5 miles without stopping. Things that really make sense in a longer window than a day or a few weeks. These goals still contribute to your overall big goals, and eventually will help you to accomplish your long-term goals. Long-term goals are really the big things in life you want to accomplish. Something like graduating from college, or getting a job. So as an example, if you thought to yourself, I want a college diploma, you wouldn't think, well, I probably could do that in a day or two, or even in a year or two. The thought process you should be, I really need to buckle down, take the time to start taking classes, rack up my college credits, and then at the end of 4 to 6 to 8 or more years, put all that together into a college diploma. Other examples of long-term goals could be things like saving enough money up for retirement, or to be more specific, becoming a millionaire one day. Those things are certainly things that you probably couldn't do in a day, a week, or a month. That is, of course, unless you win the lottery. The key to good long-term goal thinking is to set a goal that requires several shorter-term or near-term goals to be hit and overcome before you actually reach the long-term goal. Things like saving up $1 million is certainly not something that you can accomplish in a day. It's something that'll take time to accumulate. The time required to acquire the skills needed to get a job or start a company that people are willing to pay decent money for. The time to accumulate that money. the time to maintain discipline and not spend every nickel you get the second you get it. That long-term goal also requires discipline and a little bit of business savvy to invest that money to see it grow. Pro tip: the more audacious the goal, the better. In other words, if financial means are your goal, don't just pick being a millionaire. Pick being a billionaire. Not just any billionaire, by the way. The richest billionaire, the biggest billionaire. Make that your long-term goal. Like I said, it seems audacious. But in reality, if you can break it down, reverse engineer it, you could probably figure out all the steps that it would take to get there, and each of those steps becomes your near-term and short-term goals that you want to hit. To go back to our billionaire example, most billionaires that you see have started a company that's made them all that money. So an example of a near-term goal would be to create a company that many people would purchase from. You would then break that goal down into shorter-term goals, i.e., identify a product that people are going to want to buy, things like that. And once you've broken those things down into short-term goals, that's when daily habits begin to see their biggest bang for their buck. And that's where these 4 daily habits really become powerful, starting with creating a to-do list every day. Create a to-do list the night before your day. This to-do list will list all the things that you need to get done that day in order. The reason this is powerful is because identifying the most important things you have to get done the next day will get you into the practice of thinking of your big problems and breaking them down into tasks and small steps that you can accomplish. This will help to turn you into an action taker instead of a wish maker. The key to this habit, though, is to make sure you time box your to-do list appropriately. Have you ever noticed that when you have a homework assignment or a regular work assignment that's due on a specific date, that you tend to spend as much time as possible procrastinating on it and doing anything else that you possibly can think of aside from the actual work you need to do? And then magically you get it done in the 6 hours or so before it's really due. Well, that is a psychological phenomenon known as Parkinson's Law. In other words, your work will expand to fill the time available for its completion. So with that in mind, just try and accomplish every item on your task list as quickly as possible, and then leave plenty of room to just goof off after you're all done. That goof off time can consist of a consistent sleep schedule. Getting 6 to 8 hours of sleep every night and going to bed and waking up at this roughly the same time every day is an important part of becoming a high-performing individual. Scientific studies have proven that getting a good night's sleep is critical for you to be able to efficiently perform all of your cognitive and physical tasks. A key to getting a good night's sleep is getting your body's circadian rhythm on a consistent schedule. To do that, you really just need to pick a time where it makes the most sense for you to go to sleep and wake up the next morning. If you're an early morning person, be sure to go to sleep early enough to where you get enough sleep the night before. Quick example, I'm fond of waking up anywhere from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m., so I try to go to bed between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. the night before. If you're a night owl, like so many of us claim to be, and you get up at around 10 a.m. in the morning, then I suppose a late night of about 1 to 2 a.m. for you is probably worth it. A word of caution though. Those late nights mean late mornings, and I find that most of my opportunities come to me in the morning. The best jobs I've ever had, I've interviewed for them early in the morning. The best business deals I've ever landed have all happened in and around the morning. Now that might just be anecdotal to me, and the situation might be reversed for you, but just keep this in mind. Next up, meditation. So with that consistent sleep schedule, you're bound to have plenty of extra waking hours filled with stress, trying to knock out items on your to-do list and reaching your goals. A good way to stay balanced and maintain your sanity is to meditate regularly. Now I know what you're thinking.
Isn't that just some new age hippie crap that doesn't have any real effect on your daily life?
Well, yes and no. Way to ride the fence, huh? Yeah. All kidding aside, yes in that it comes out of the new age movement of the late 60s and 70s. But no in that it will have an effect on your daily life. Truly meditating, that is, focusing in on your breathing and shutting out all influences from your life and stresses, will really empower you to be more creative and positive, and to really tune out all the stuff that doesn't matter and focus in on what does. That's exactly the kind of clarity that you will need to accomplish your goals. Next up, going to the gym. Now this is a habit that you should have on a regular cadence, and daily might be a little bit of a stretch. In other words, if you work out every other day, regardless of whether or not it's a weekday or a weekend, or if you work out every weekday or something like that. then that's fine. It's really about getting a cadence. And one of the reasons that I say that is because true growth from working out comes in the recovery time. So don't overdo it in the gym, just try and go every day. That said though, going to the gym on a regular cadence is probably one of the single most positive things you can do regularly that will make a true difference in your life. It will give you clarity that you never thought you could achieve, and will help you with avoiding long-term illnesses that drive up your medical costs, particularly as you start to get long in the tooth. So I've been working out consistently for almost 20 years now, and I can tell you that the positive effects go far beyond just looking ripped and the feeling of confidence that you get when you lift a weight that you never thought that you could. It really is about taking control of your life and improving incrementally the short, near, and long term. Speaking about taking control of your life, be sure to take control of your YouTube viewing habits by clicking the subscribe and notification bells so you get the latest videos from the channel. And don't forget to like and drop us a comment telling us about the habits that you've picked up that help you to move forward day to day and accomplish your long-term goals. And remember, a goal without a plan is a wish. A goal with a plan and no action is a wish list. Take action on your finances and business using the power of technology, and we'll talk to you next time. Peace.